he can't keep getting away with this. On Saturday, we saw Ilia Topuria dismantle Charles Oliveira in one round, and I have a proof here that I put my money on Ilia. Even though I'm a huge Charles fan, I was hoping and praying that Charles can win this fight. Deep down, I knew he was gonna get knocked out. I didn't know it was gonna be so easy and so dominant in the first round. And Ilia really is the best MMA fighter in the world right now. Please like, share, and subscribe to MMA Maverick. And if you want to buy me a coffee in the link attached in the description to support the channel. Thank you. I like Ilia. I'm not a huge fan. Some of his things he does, like celebrating victory beforehand, I understand you have confidence in yourself, but that's a little bit like, corny to me. But, he backed it up and, all you can do is take your hat off. But, Ilya is looking like unbeatable. He's looking like he can even take on Islam Makhachev next. Like, who's gonna stop this guy? He has power, he has great wrestling, he's power translated in 155. You guys see how bigger Charles was than him? I don't know. Islam never got hit like that in his career with that type of power. He really has insane amounts of power. Now beating Charles. Before that, beat Max Holloway, knocked out Max Holloway. Guys, you know how hard it is to knock out Max Holloway. We know what kind of chin that man has. And Ilya did it in 3 rounds. Knock out Max Holloway, who who had up until then, the understanding was this is one of the toughest chins in MMA. To knock out a guy like that. So really, like, he's doing some things that, like, are just incredible. Then before that, second round, took care of Volkanovski. Volkanovski, who is, the probably the GOAT of that division, and somebody that, you know, just was supposed to put up a better effort against Ilya. Ilya dismantled him in two rounds. We gotta take our head off to Josh Emmett because this man managed to last full 5 rounds with Ilya, which I did put money on. I put a money on Ilya and him Ilya winning by decision in that fight. So that was a good play on my end. But since then he's just been dismantling people. We all remember submission against Bryce Mitchell, which he probably thinking now it's better he submitted him. He could have knocked him out easily too. Jai Herbert is one fight where Ilya looked vulnerable. He got caught with an amazing head kick, but he recovered and showed that he's has a championship mentality. Knocked out brutally Jai Herbert, um, in London of all places, and it was very brutal. Before that, Ryan Hall, the BJJ nerd, absolutely horrible matchup. Ilya was horrible matchup for him. Like, destroyed him. And then remember that beautiful combo, against Damon Jackson. And he started his UFC career, by with a decision against Yusuf Zalal. But it just shows us this guy. If you've been watching MMA, for the past few years, chances are this guy in these past 5 years has been in UFC, knocked out, you know, your favorite fighter. He's been knocking out all the legends of the sport, your favorite fighters. And what's next for this guy? I'm thinking UFC hates Arman. Like, they're not gonna give him the next fight. Like, ever since he pulled that stunt with his back, and Ilya, talked some shit in the ring, he was like, this guy with the fucking back problems. And then they decided to bring Patty, which Patty absolutely does not deserve that title shot. Like, that's ridiculous. And you saw Dana was mad. When they brought him in, he was like, I don't know what they were doing. So Patty will get knocked out for sure. What I'm seeing is that his plan probably is to be a three-division champion, which would be unprecedented. Let's be honest, that would make him the GOAT of the sport. He's gonna probably fight the winner of Islam and check Della Maddalena. If it's Islam, yeah, I don't know. This guy looks scary. So, but Islam is game too. So we'll see what happens in the future. Great victory by Ilia. Great performance. It was absolutely amazing. It's unfortunate it was against one of my favorite fighters, Charles Oliveira. Um, but that's how this game goes. You know, there's always somebody better, somebody younger. And in the end, we got to take a head of Ilya, who might, retire by the time he's 30 and he as a goat of the sport. So, yeah, just want to talk about that. Thank you guys. Please like, share, and subscribe to MMA Maverick.